The Dow dropped more than 2,200 points today. That is the biggest decline since June 2020 during the pandemic. Other indexes tanked as well. The S&P also had its biggest decline since June 2020. The Nasdaq is now 22% lower than its December record. So we want to talk about this. Today we're joined by Michael Orlando from UC Denver. You are the executive director of the JP Morgan Center for Commodities and Energy Management. So thank you for being here. We've got questions. Hopefully you got some answers for us because there's so much uncertainty. Can you just kind of start by telling us your reaction to this? Is this what you expected?
I can't say I'm completely surprised because I think a lot of the motive for this round of tariffs is really about negotiating with all of our global partners. But I think the broad base, the very large scope and extent of these tariffs that were proposed is not something that I or anyone else expected. And you can kind of see that in the stock market. You know, the stock market has been going sideways since January, which means it was kind of anticipating this. It priced in some of the negativity of what it could have been, and then it fell off a cliff on Thursday morning.
Yeah.
And it fell again even more this morning when we saw the retaliatory proposals.
And so when we look at it, I mean, you talk about the negotiation tactics and the reasoning behind this. It's hard to even look past Monday at this point, but that's part of the strategy, possibly.
I mean, that's the confusing part because these tariffs are typically sold when they are sold as necessary to protect a particular industry, to build investment in a particular industry domestically. But for that to happen, you need to create a stable investment environment. You need to clearly signal expectations, understandings to investors of if they play by certain rules, then they can expect and forecast certain outcomes. That is not being provided by this set of proposals.
Any truth to what, our president is telling the American people that this is going to produce, he keeps saying the word boom, a big boom, where people are going to come here and produce more. But isn't that something that would take decades to do, like a turnaround of that way?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two answers to that. The first is that there's really nothing in economic orthodoxy going all the way back 250 years to Adam Smith that says that would be true.
Right.
So even if you have certain values that you prefer certain industries have a capability in the country rather than source those things from outside. So even if that's the case, what you're saying is absolutely right. It will take a long time to build the confidence and assurances for investors that the next president isn't going to change this because this was an executive order, not a legislative action, and that that the payoffs are going to be obvious enough to a Democratic base that is going to stay behind this and provide the support to continue a policy in the long run that fundamentally is going to reduce total income in America and increase prices.
Well, as you said, it's kind of an interesting time to be an economist. Otherwise, people go, oh, that job just flies over my head. But this is interesting and also just so uncertain. And I think that's the one thing that everyone is feeling, whether you agree with it or not, is you're just scared.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the most difficult time now. And I've been listening to a bunch of podcasts on commodity traders and business people, and they're sort of all saying, we want to basically stay on the sideline and wait and not make any big decisions because you really don't know where this is going to be in another week.
But that scares me. The people who know are like, we have to wait and see what happens. It's like, well, what are we supposed to think?
We're going to put you on speed dial and get back to you.
That's
okay.
Right. Well, it's a nice time to be an economist. We're not often asked to the party.
Spicy. All right.
Thank you, Michael Orlando. Thanks for joining us. And
thank you.
We may actually be calling you again soon
Thanks
here as things continue to play out.
Sure.